so much for our intro. Not sure what happened there, but welcome to DeFi Crypto and Airdrops. I'm Mike, aka Veteran Crypto, and wanted to do a quick shout out to Drew. Appreciate the shout out he gave us yesterday. Means a lot, when we get recognized for the work we do, with those guys. But want to start out with anybody that's watching or listening on X. If you want to join the chat and ask questions, get involved in the conversation. Find us on YouTube at DeFi Crypto Airdrop, uh, and you can also find Discover Crypto. These are our brother channels. We got Discover Crypto, Blockchain Report. That's my usual co-host Jeff. That is his airdrop dedicated channel that he has. He just broke 7,000 subscribers, so nice milestone for him. And Blockchain Basement, of course. So want to give them all a shout out. But I want to also, during Blockchain Basement, Drew was talking about real estate, and I was trying to get him to notice the comment I was making. But me and him did an interview with my brother and his business partner. My brother is an estate attorney down in Texas and owns a real estate title company, and his business partner is actually a licensed financial advisor, so he can give financial advice. And we did a really good. This is it right here. Oh, sorry. Secure your wealth. Millionaires are doing this to protect their wealth. This is the video
The
that
Fed funding
me
rate's
and
at like
Drew
four.
did. Interviewing them and talking about the issues with the residential and commercial real estate markets. That and all that stuff that Drew was talking about, where the government is, basically propping up home loans to keep them from going into default because there's millions and millions and millions of homes that would basically get foreclosed on and would make 2008 look like child's play. So that's kind of what's going on. So if you're thinking about, potentially getting into real estate, um, with your crypto earnings or just in general, potentially you might want to wait. There could be a fire sale here soon. Maybe, possibly, again, not financial advice, but talking to them. Every time I ask them, hey, should I buy a piece of property? Should I invest a piece of property? They're always like, no, no, no. Are you freaking stupid? So take it with a grain of salt, but they're experts. So, um, and again, they can give financial advice. So, let's go ahead and jump into the DeFi talk. This is going to be my episode 6 of my DeFi Academy. So I'm going through, and in each episode, I'm building on the previous episode, in a usual instructional style. So the first one was just basically what is DeFi, how does DeFi work, what's some basic terminology, those sorts of things. Then hot and cold wallets, warm wallets, things like that. Um, and we're just kind of going through the paces. I talked about Aerodrome, did an updated Aerodrome deep dive, the platform itself, not the Aero token necessarily. And this time we're going to talk about VFAT. VFAT.io is what I use. And it's called a DeFi aggregator. And so this is the site here. And you can connect your wallet and it will actually show your whole portfolio, sort of. It's not showing all of my DeFi positions. So this is showing what's in my wallet, my actual wallet sitting dormant, but not all my DeFi positions. However, if you come over to yield, then you get, farms, pools, and deposits. And actually, hold on. Let's not do a deep dive into that. Let's do a quick shout out to the chat before I get too deep into this. Hey, Crypto Stevo, appreciate you. Oh, we got Granny's Garden. Man, we got all kinds of people in here. We got Jay, we got Kyle Watts, Sufficient Enough, Mountain Magnets, Peter John, Crypto Stevo, Granny's Garden, Ellie. Ellie, I appreciate all your help in the Discord. Those of you that haven't checked it out yet, if you're into DeFi, we have our Discord that's in the Discover Investment Group, with Blockchain Basement, Discover Crypto, and all them. And we have another one because we get a little bit spicier in there. Um, And it's the links in in the description below. But if you want to get in there and just ask questions and hang out and talk, it's a really fun place to hang out. I do it quite often, but we love to answer questions in there and help people out that are trying to learn DeFi. All right, so let's jump in. Let's hit DeFi Llama real quick. So DeFi Llama is a tool that you must have, and I hit on this every episode because it's such a powerful tool. So DeFi Llama overview, this gives you a dashboard and shows you where you can make money in DeFi. So up here, I have TVL and DEX volume turned on, and this is the total DeFi market. So we have about $40 billion of total TVL across all the different DeFi protocols, and we have about 20 billion in the DEX volume. On the day, that's $20 billion of liquidity is moving across DeFi protocols daily. That's a lot of money, and uh, the people in DeFi are like the 1% of the small percentage that are in crypto. So, people always talk about, adoption and retail and, the people the normies that aren't in crypto yet. And there's just a small percentage of people in crypto. Take that and then take a small subsection of that, and it's us DeFi degens. So we are very early to this game. Those of us that are learning DeFi and earning yield, I on my Kita bags, just in the past 12 hours on 3,500 bucks, I've made about 130, $140 now. And I'll show the receipts here in a minute. But there is a lot of money to be made in sideways markets, uptrending markets, even downtrending markets in DeFi. It doesn't matter what the market's doing. You can make money. You can be lending and you get 100% price appreciation, or exposure to price movement, up and down, but you're still earning yield all the time. So basically you're hodling your bags, but you're stacking, you're earning yield. So instead of just sitting in a wallet or sitting on an exchange, you're actually making money on, free money for just hodling your bags. Like, you don't have to get into liquidity pools. You don't have to, take risk. You can just go into lending, and you can lend stables and earn like 10, 20%, 30% sometimes. So it doesn't, DeFi is for everybody, and there's ways that you can do it intelligently to where you're taking small baby steps in. In the military, we call it crawl, walk, run. So crawling is lending. Walk would be, maybe you get into, a full range liquidity pool. And then run is where you're a degen and you're, going around and you're in, meme coin pools trying to get 10,000% APR and stuff. But don't go there. Not right out the gate. So, all right, DeFi Llama. You can sort down here. You can see all the different protocols. So a protocol is where is a DeFi protocol. It's where you can go and you can use your liquidity to earn. So you got Pancake Swap, you got Uniswap, you got Aerodrome, Jupiter, Aave, all these different places. Now up here you can sort. So if you want to look where you can make volume, make yield, volume is what you're looking for. Volume is people that are doing swaps, and that's how you're earning your fees. Is people doing swaps, for liquidity pools. And you can see the 24-hour volume. Pancake Swap kills it daily. They're making $13.6 billion in volume moving across their platform daily. So Pancake Swap is a really good place to put some liquidity. And of course, Uniswap. All right. And of course, then you got RWA.XYZ, and it's just always going parabolic. This is the tokenization of real world assets. This is Ondo. This is Plume. This is, big stocks, bonds, treasuries, art, real estate, private credit, anything that they want to make more liquid so that they can move that liquidity or that value more efficiently, more effectively, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, doesn't involve intermediaries or humans, in the process. That's what this is. And there's plenty of people out there that teach it, so I won't dwell on that. Markets seem to be doing all right today, but let's dive into VFAT. All right. So let's see if there's any questions real quick before we dive too deep. Oh yeah. No, yeah, Jay, freaking yeah, we all got Nikita pools and everybody in the Discord, the couple people that jumped into these Kita pools about a week or two ago when I was talking about it, they're loving the earning right now. Yep, yep, yep. Hit the like, please. Like, share, follow. I do this for free. I do not have sponsors. I do not get paid to do this. This is a labor of love. I'm just here to teach you all so that you can make money just like I'm making money. That's the only reason I'm here. Yeah, and that's the Discord link. All right, so let's jump into this. All right, so I got my notes here. So, what is VFAT? VFAT is free. Yeah, well, it's not 100% free. You don't have to pay a membership to use it. It's free to, go on it. It's free to, enter liquidity pools and stuff. However, there is a very small fee when you enter and exit pools and depending on, what automations you use, there's very small fees. And I'll get into those, when we get a little bit deeper in. But it is an open source yield farming dashboard that aggregates farming data across multiple DeFi protocols and chains. And I'll get into the details of that. It's built to simplify the yield farming process by showing APRs, the stats for the pools, so APRs, volumes, um, you can, click on them and it will expand. It will show the awarded TVL, the active TVL, which is, basically how much liquidity is in range earning right now. Because, some people are still in the pool, but they're out of range. So they're not earning yield. You got weekly rewards. In this case, $101,000 on Aerodrome has been paid out in fees to people like me and you that are providing liquidity. It tells you the annual, the weekly, and the daily APR that you're earning. It gives you the contract address, which is very important, and I'll get into that. When you are trying to pick a range for to put your liquidity. It shows you the two assets that the liquidity pool consists of, and how much liquidity or dollar value of each asset is in the pool. It will show you the amount of people that are in range. The so right here, a portion of the active liquidity on the in the current price range. So only the people that are earning again. Active TVL, the sum of all positions that are in range. TVL, total value locked. The last 7-day fees, that would be if I was in a position, and then it would give me the annual, weekly, and daily APR if I was actually in a position here. Tells you the platform it's on, in this case, Aerodrome. Again, the contract address, and then the amount of tokens of each. Again, so that's a little bit of the data that you'll see from clicking on it. All right, there we go. So let's supported chains and protocols. So this is what makes it such a powerful tool. Instead of going to each one of these protocols and searching through, going through and going to Uniswap and exploring, all of their pools, going to because I mean, you can spend hours just scrolling through Uniswap trying to find, a pool. And there's limited data. There's, a lot of these, there's limited ways to filter. So, if you're looking for a certain APR or a certain TVL or, certain assets, you can search. It just takes a lot of time. And time is money. And a lot of you are wanting to get into things like DeFi because you want to just have something making you money while you're doing your regular job or while you're sleeping or while you're enjoying family or doing yard work. That's the great thing about DeFi. I'm a homesteader. I make money when I'm out doing work on my property in DeFi. While I'm talking to you right now, all my DeFi is just tick, 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 making money. So that's the beauty of DeFi. So that being said, the reason that this is called an aggregator, what the hell just happened to my camera? Hold on. It's like the sun just went down or something. All right. Well, we're going to go ahead and drive on. I don't want to have you sit and watch me mess with my camera. All right. So, the reason why it's called an aggregator is it aggregates data, and it aggregates data from all of these chains and all of these protocols. So if you don't know the difference between chains and protocols, chains are things like Ethereum, Bitcoin, Base, Inc. You got Optimism, you got Unichain, Polygon, Sonic, Swell, Fractal, Mode, Arbitrum, Avalanche, Mantle, Scroll, BNB. You have all of these. You even have Hyper, EVM. So these are all supported chains that are on this aggregator. If you go to some place like Aerodrome, they only do base. If you go to Uniswap, they actually do multiple chains, but not necessarily the same ones or as many. And of course, it doesn't have this kind of functionality. Now, all the protocols that you can find on here, and just so you know, not all pools from these protocols will be on VFAT. And VFAT isn't the only aggregator. I'll show some of those at the end. But again, it's a one-stop shop. So you have Velodrome, you have Uniswap version 4, which is the newest version. You have Quick Swap, you have Equalizer, you have Shadow that's on Sonic, you have Raw, you have Pancake Swap, you have Ramses, you have Sushi, you have Uniswap version 3, you have Pharaoh, Merchant Mo, HyperSwap, Aerodrome, Nile, Thena, Nuri, and Cleopatra. Bunch of these I've never heard of. There's so many DeFi platforms out there, but you have access to those from this DeFi aggregator, VFAT, which just makes life so much easier. So again, you can favorite, certain pools, and you can select this and it will show favorites, only the favorites that you've selected. If you find really good pools that you necessarily aren't in at the moment, they treated you really well, you got out of it, but they're not moving currently, so there's not a lot of volume. So and then maybe you see that it's starting to pump, you might want to throw some liquidity back in that, because if it's pumping, you have people that are going to be trading and people that are going to be swapping for that token. And so you might want to provide some liquidity. That's what's been happening with Kita or KTA recently. Is it's been super popular because it's pumping 20-30% per day when everything else was going down and flat. And so those of us that were already in Kita, we've been earning. See, the sun just came out. We've already been earning because we jumped in before all of that volume was going. Our Saturday episode was right before the Kita pump. So next, key features. All right. So the overview of the dashboard, how to select a chain and navigate through different farming platforms. So say that I have sorry about that. Give it a minute, make sure that you guys can hear and see me. It's I'm on Starlink, so it goes out occasionally. But so if you say that you're in your wallet and you have some Aerodrome and liquidity, like say you have $1,000 and you don't want to bridge it over to another chain, but you want to earn off of it, you can select right here base, and so it will only show you liquidity pools that are on the base chain. So I've selected base, and you can see, these little green one. These are two pools that I'm in that are on base chain. Now, any of these pools, that $1,000 that I have in Arrow, I can put into here. And the great thing is if I just have $1,000 of Arrow, I can just deposit it on Aerodrome and Uniswap and a lot of these other dexes. You actually have to swap for an equal amount, or a certain amount of each asset before you can enter into a liquidity pool. And it's kind of a pain in the ass because you always end up with some dust. Like if you deposit a couple $1,000s, you might end up with like $100 or $200 that just ends up sitting in your wallet not earning. And for people like me that want to, earn the maximum amount, it's kind of annoying. So this, VFAT is really cool because you can see over here, I can click on this and it will open up my wallet and it will show me everything that I have that is able to be put into this liquidity pool. So you can see I have, KTA, it's on base, and I've earned $611, over the past couple of days on KTA. So if I wanted to put this liquidity into this pool, I could just select that, hit max, select my ranges, hit deposit, boom, I'm in a pool that quick. It's that's the beauty of VFAT. With Aerodrome, I would have to, be clicking all over the place and doing swaps and doing a bunch of math and trying to figure out, how much I needed of each asset. It's kind of a pain in the ass. So, um, that's one of the things that makes this so powerful. Let's see. What else we got here? All right. So, that is one thing that you can do. Now, say that you want to use a specific protocol because, like, say, Aerodrome, because you want to stack Arrow. Say that I want to use my KTA as liquidity, and KTA is on base, so I can, go to Aerodrome with it. But say that I want to use it to stack more Aerodrome, but still retain my KTA. I could select Aerodrome and it will bring up all the Aerodrome pools. And of course, I can click up top here and I can sort them from lowest to highest, highest to lowest, all that. Weekly rewards. So this is something that is tied into volume. This is how much fees the pool has earned in the past week. So the higher the value here, the more fees that people like me and you are earning. So I don't always just look at APR. A lot of people will make the mistake of thinking a high APR will automatically mean that you're going to earn a lot. It's a mix between the APR and the fees. So I've seen them sometimes where it will say a couple of, 1,000 APR, but it's only earned a couple $1,000s worth of fees. So it's you can test some things out yourself if you want, but in my experience so far, I find it's a lot more powerful to look at the rewards, and the fees being generated than just looking at the APRs. So again, this is something that's again very powerful with VFAT. Sorry, I just had a brain fart. With VFAT is I find that the data that it gets is a lot better because if you go to Aerodrome, sometimes their APRs are are questionable. I'll put it like that. Not to say that you're not going to earn good yield, but sometimes you'll go here and you'll see like right here, wrapped ETH USDC 2,412%. But I go over here to VFAT and you can see, let's see, wrapped ETH USDC. Yeah. So you go here and you see wrapped ETH USDC is only 11.55%. So, it's it's sometimes the APRs can be questionable on Aerodrome. I'll just leave it at that. I've found that if I use VFAT for my APRs for Aerodrome, it's a lot more accurate. It seems like it does it over a longer period of time and ignores the surges. Whereas Aerodrome, it seems like it likes to lock in surges on the APRs and not give real time. That's just in my experience. So anyway, there's that. All right, so we kind of got into the pools. You can do full range positions, like anything that doesn't have a CL, or a concentrated liquidity, symbol by it is a ranged position. And if it doesn't have that by it, it's usually a full range position. Concentrated liquidity means that you're picking a price range for your liquidity. A full range position means no matter what the price does, you're always in range, you're always earning. I've done plenty of videos on that. Feel free to, go back and check those out. So next, so that's farms. You have pools, basically same thing. It's pools that you can enter into. You can see, a couple of these I have favorited, just a little green star or a little yellow star. And then some of my deposits. So here are my KTA pools. And you can see, before I went live yesterday, it was about 5 p.m. that I went live. Um, I actually plussed up this, and so it cashed out my earnings. Same with this one. I started it yesterday, and so this is what I've earned in not even a day. So coming up on about 19 hours, I've made 132, yeah, like about 132, $133 off of $3,500 of liquidity. Um, and I've made some a bit of price appreciation too. So from the price appreciation and the yield, I've probably made about 250 $300 off of these pools in a day. So about 10% actually, roughly. Just shy of 10%, about 9%. I've made between the two. So KTA has been a great earner. And again, it's because it's pumping. People for whatever reason like to chase green candles. So, whenever you see that a crypto is starting to pump, if you want to play with the idea, it's something I'm doing. I put in a couple $100 on KTA a week ago. I started out with about $580, and because I saw that it had just pumped, quite a bit, and it was consolidating. And I was thinking, a lot of people are starting to talk about it, starting to get a lot of attention. Maybe we'll get another pump. So I put in that $580, and it did. It pumped again, and I made a bunch of money. Actually, within a week, I doubled my money, and so I did it again. And you can see it's paying off again. So following narratives and following that volume, or that interest can pay off. I would suggest, not financial advice, but this is what I do. I make sure that I peel off profits. So all these profits that I'm making on these pools, I'm actually peeling off and putting in my wallet to open up other liquidity positions on the next one I find. Plume was the first one that I gave to our community, and then KTA has been the second one. I'm waiting to find the next one, and so I'm just building my dry powder for the next, you know, big narrative, or the next, project that people start hyping, and I'll put some liquidity in it and, see if I can, build me another position. And again, I'm not doing meme coins. These are good, solid projects. If you want to know about KTA or Kita, Saturday and last night, we did a two-parter on Kita, what it is, what the use cases are, what they're doing. You know, I only invest in solid projects. I don't do memes. I don't chase APRs. So, all these Arrow, I'm very bullish on. KTA, I'm very bullish on. ETH, I'm not a big fan of, but I'm bullish on it. I hate the fees. It's slow. It's a terrible freaking chain, but you can't argue with the fact that everybody's building on it. Base is on it. All the major institutions are building most of their, DeFi on ETH for whatever reason. I have no clue, but follow the money. Do what the money's doing. That's how you make money. Is just basically mimic, and that's the great thing about crypto. You can see what they're doing. The transparency is there. In traditional markets, you had to pay tens of thousands, if not millions of dollars to have access, to the data and the analytics that crypto we have for free. Things like DeFi Llama and all these tools that we can see this to see where big money is investing. You used to have to be rich to be able to follow the rich. Now you can be an average person like me and you and be mimicking what the rich are doing. This isn't rocket science. You just have to know how to find and read data. That's all it is. Everything's on chain. So, anyway, you can see my positions. And let's get into, and actually, you know what? I'm going to add to my position here live. So, wrapped ETH KTA. You can see it's about to go out of range towards the bottom. So what that means is that probably that KTA is pumping and ETH is either not pumping as much or going down. So let's take a look real quick and see what is going on with the markets before I do this, because I might need to rebalance. All right. So looks like we have ETH is going up a little bit, and oh, okay, yeah, Kita is pumping again. We're up to $1.15. So, basically, what that's telling me is if it keeps pumping, I'm going to go out of range. My deposit is still going up because the Kita that I have is going up in value. So, I'm not losing money because Kita's pumping, but I'm going to stop earning yield if it keeps damn pumping without ETH pumping along with it. I need it to move in a correlated fashion. Yeah, freaking look at this. See, this is the initial pump. And then, actually, let's do this. Let's go to the month. So we did, what was it? Right here. Yeah, it was right down in here that I got into Kita. And then we did a video down in here on Saturday. And it pumped. And then last night we did another video and it's pumping again today. And I'm not saying that I knew it was going to pump. I'm not a TA guy. I did not see it coming. Not even going to pretend like I called it. I'm a DeFi guy. Again, I am just I'm a bottom feeder. I'm down here, and all the people that are trying to swap for Kita, and all the people that are wanting to trade, and do those sorts of things. I'm the bank. I am providing liquidity, and they're paying a small fee. It's not predatory at all. This isn't like a meme coin where I'm trying to get all of you out there to invest or put your money into some meme coin so I can use you as exit liquidity. DeFi is nothing like that. DeFi is I'm providing a service. I am providing the liquidity so that you can swap and so that you can trade and you can take out leverage and all those different things. And you're paying a small fee. You're paying, like 0.3%. Or if you're taking out a loan on Aave, you're paying like 4 or 5%, sometimes less. And try to go to a bank right now and get a loan. You're talking 8%, 7%. So it's actually cheaper to take out a loan if you have the leverage, which most banks are leveraged loans anyway. A car loan, they're using the car as the leverage. So, if you get a home loan, they're using the house that you're buying as the leverage. That's why they can foreclose on it. Your house is the leverage. DeFi, if you put in $10,000 worth of Bitcoin, you still own the Bitcoin. you can just take a loan out on it. And, you don't want to take too much out because if too high a leverage, you can get liquidated. And again, for another episode. But that is what DeFi is you are helping people, you know, do decentralized finance and earning a small fee for it. So let's get back on track here. I get too excited and get off track. So I'm gonna ask the chat. Should I add to this liquidity position or should I wait because I'm probably gonna have to rebalance here in a second? Let's while we let that marinate with you, I'm gonna go through and see if we got any questions. Yeah, yeah. Jay, we all got Nikita pools and holy moly, we're making money. Hell yeah, brother. I love seeing you and Ellie and everybody else in the Discord making money. Leverage trading is cool and all, but I find way more stress free and lucrative in DeFi. That's my exact experience. I tried doing trading. There's people that are making great money doing trading, and they spent years and lost a lot of money getting that education. Um, Me personally, I don't have the time or the money to do that, and it's very technical. And you can make money fast, and you can lose money fast. In DeFi, I found that it's a lot more forgiving. You can, just make good, slow, steady money, and you can adopt the level of risk you're comfortable with. Again, lending, other than the platform going down or the asset that you hold getting rug pulled or something, you aren't going to lose your money. Especially if it's in like USDC or Bitcoin, you're pretty safe. And you can lend it out and you might earn 10, 20, 30%, which is a great APR, in the stock market. If you make 10% in a year, that's considered stellar. So making 20, 30% is huge. That's 2, 3 times more than you're going to make in the stock market. If you just put it in if you just invest it with a group or, put it in a fund or something like that. But you can take a very low level of risk like that. And then, you can take a small percentage and, take a higher risk play, like getting into liquidity pools and stuff, while you learn. Start out with $100 or a couple $100. You can start out with $50 if you want. I would suggest you stay away from ETH though, because you're going to eat up all of your profits in fees. So stick with things like Base or Unichain or something like that have really low fees if you're using really small positions to learn DeFi or to learn about liquidity pools. Yeah, no, it's good to see that you guys and girls are starting to use VFAT. Falco, absolutely love me some VFAT. Yeah, you want to be part of the community? Absolutely. Just join the Discord, and I mean, we're always sharing tips and tricks. Sometimes we're just in there fucking doing silly shit, but it's fun. It's a fun place to hang out, have a couple drinks, and talk about crypto, DeFi, and life. Yeah, there you go. Join the Discord, learn and earn. ETH will catch up, man. I hope so, Creston. I really, really hope so, man. I really don't want to rebalance. The Kita pool, yeah, yeah. Rich J, it's up on the screen right now. It's just a Kita is just KTA. So if you want to find the Kita pools, just click on pools up top here, and then just type in KTA in the search bar, and it will give you all. It will give you all the KTA pools, so you can see. They're all on base, but again, you want to look over here. You want to look at the TVL. So I wouldn't touch any of these pools down here. The Sequoia KTA only has $3,000 of TVL. You're going to get killed on potentially on slippage trying to get in and out of that freaking thing. You don't want to do this one on Pancake. Way too low a TVL. actually, you want, if you want to follow me on X, it's just veteran, the number 4 crypto, pinned at the top is my rules, my DeFi rules for choosing a liquidity pool. And I got these from Crypto Labs Research. Great group of guys over there. We actually interviewed Lucas, the founder. Um, but choosing a liquidity pool, believe in the assets. You know, don't just because you see a good APR and fees, don't throw liquidity in the pool. Make sure it's something that you don't mind hodling, because if it goes out of the bottom, you're going to be 100% in the asset that's not pumping. So in this case, if I go out the bottom, I'm going to be all in on ETH. Here, I'll show you. This is how liquidity pools work when it's a crypto to crypto pair. So my wrapped ETH Kita position, you can see that I have $2,852 worth of my liquidity in wrapped ETH right now because ETH isn't moving as well. It's not pumping as much as Kita is right now. I only have $100 worth of Kita because of this little. Oh, sorry. So you can see here. Sorry, I'm going to go through this again because I wasn't on the right page. I have $2,852.27 in wrapped ETH because because it's not pumping, is this large portion of my range. This little sliver down here is my Kita position. It's been DCAing me as Kita has been pumping. It's been selling off Kita into wrapped ETH. If they were both moving together in a correlated fashion, then it would stay in the middle, but you would see my deposit amount, you would see my deposit amount going up because I'd be getting price appreciation on both and I would be earning yield. But because Kita is pumping and wrapped ETH isn't, you get this action to where where I'm about to go out of range and stop earning yield, but I'm going to end up where I'm going to be all in on wrapped ETH unless it starts pumping. So again, you want to believe in the assets because you might end up hodling one of the assets. I hope that makes sense. So back to here. Next, TVL of 250K or more. Again, because you want to ensure that you don't get killed with slippage, especially if you're using large amounts of money. If you're trying to put, $200,000 into a pool that only has 250K, you might get hit with slippage, and not be able to get in and out of that pool because you're the majority of that pool. So, if you're using large amounts of money, you want higher TVL. I always look for pools that have a 24-hour volume that are equal to or greater than the TVL. It just, again, volume means fees being earned. The more volume, the more fees. The more fees, the more you're making. Making sure it's a trusted DEX. Do not go to some obscure, decentralized exchange that's promising, high earning, that's, trying to bait you in with, high APRs, because a DEX can get rug pulled just like a crypto can get rug pulled. They can get hacked if they're not run well. There's a lot of things that can go wrong. I am very careful. I stick to Uniswap. I stick to Aave, Aerodrome, you know, platforms like that have, good, solid institutional backing, just because I am a very conservative investor. I am not a full degen, but you do you. High correlation. That's what I was just talking about with the KTA and the wrapped ETH. Correlated pairs means that they move together or they're more likely to move together. And if they move together, you're going to stay in range. If they move opposite each other, if one dumps and one pumps, they're they don't have a good correlation. And if they're doing that, you're going to be out of range a lot and you're not going to be earning fees. Another great tool on DeFi Llama. This is why I love DeFi Llama so much. You can scroll down to the bottom and you can see correlation. There's a correlations matrix. And this will tell you if the pairs are correlated. So let's try KTA. There it is, Kita. and then we'll do wrapped ETH. So I'll add those two to my matrix. So over a year, because Kita hasn't been out that long, you can see wrapped ETH Kita has a terrible correlation. ETH and wrapped ETH. You'll go down and across, and those two assets, of course, because they're both ETH, they're perfectly correlated. Now, KTA and ETH have a decent correlation. In the past 7 days, you can see not so much because Kita has been pumping. ETH has been somewhat flat relative to KTA. So it doesn't have that great, in the past 7 days. But in the past month, it's done all right. And that's, me and those in the Discord have been earning our money over the past couple of weeks. All right, let's see if I'm trying to string this out a little bit so that I can rebalance this thing. It's just freaking just hanging on by its fingernails on the bottom end of this range. All right, what else can I go over on VFAT so we can see if this thing goes out of range and I can rebalance for you guys and show you how to get into this thing. Yeah, here we go. So these two positions, this one isn't. These two aren't on VFAT because my wallet is connected. It will actually show the positions that have pools that are actually on VFAT that I can migrate. So, like this one, I can migrate this USDC Arrow full range position that I have on Aerodrome over to VFAT if I want. Or this, ETH USDC one that I'm testing out to get free Uni token. I can actually move that over here as well. So anything that's eligible to be on VFAT, I can migrate over. I have other positions, but they're not on VFAT, so they're not showing up. So all of the positions that I have on V cents. Right now, if all the APRs stay the same and all the volumes stay the same, and which they won't. All right, I'll wait a second, make sure that we're back. Sorry, Starlink. Um, so if all these APRs stay the same, then I'll be earning $88 a day. That will be my daily rewards. And my current cumulative or average APR right now is 345%. So it gives you a little bit of data as to kind of potentially what you can earn. So it gives you a feel for what you're making each day and things like that. So I have trackers, and again, that's something else that's in the Discord. We have a bunch of free tracking sheets that you can use to track your DeFi positions, to track your portfolio. Even put a spreadsheet in there that has a bunch of the formulas in it that you can plan out your exit strategy for this bull run. Put in the amount of tokens you have and at what price points that you want to cash out, and it will tell you exactly how many tokens that you want to cash out, that you should cash out at each level, and give you an estimate, if you hit all your price targets of at the end of the bull run what you'll have. So there's a bunch of really free cool stuff in there. By all means, please, go in there and check it out. And as I was talking, now I'm earning $105 a day just off these four positions, these two KTA positions, a full range arrow position, and my wrapped ETH. I mean, that's how easy DeFi is. I mean, I'm making $100 a day off of 9 grand. It's and 24/7, 365. It's just printing money, and it might not seem like a lot. $100. I mean, to me, I think that's a lot. But $100 a day, that's $3,000 a month, off of $9,000. That's a 33% return on investment every month. If I can maintain, this level, $100 a month or $100 a day, that means every 3 months, roughly, if I'm consistent, I'm doubling my money. I understand in trading, yes, you can make 100% in a couple of minutes or a couple of seconds if things are pumping. I get it. You can also lose it all. That is why me and people in our Discord love DeFi so much. Is I can go to sleep and have my stuff in DeFi. Know it's going to be there. Solid pools on good solid protocols. And yeah, if one of them goes down, say Aerodrome goes down, I still have my Uniswap pools. I still have my Aave lending. I still have, my other, DeFi positions. So, I'm diversified. I sleep soundly. I'm about to take a trip to Southern California to go see a comedy show. And while I'm on the plane, if I don't have internet, okay. But if I was in a trade, I'd be freaking the fuck out. I'd probably close the trade, if I knew I wasn't going to have internet, because I mean, a lot can happen in a split second. So, nothing against trading. If you're good at it, freaking, uh, but DeFi, I'm killing it. So DeFi is just a lot easier. Damn it, go out of range. Um, Let me see if there's anything. Oh, you know what? I never touched on this. So, say I wanted to increase this position, and I'll probably do it if this doesn't drop down, just so I can show you guys how easy it is. But I want to increase this position. My wallet's connected. I selected the pool that I want to add to, and again, this is how easy it is. I select what out of my wallet I want to add. So if I want to add KTA, if I want to add wrapped ETH, regular ETH, some of these stables that have some dust, this Coinbase wrapped Bitcoin, whatever. I just select it. I select how much of it. I can use this little slider, or I can just hit max, and it will, automatically do it. Slippage, I suggest going with 0.25 for slippage. What that is it's the volatility that it will allow, that while the transaction is being processed, the amount that it will allow the price to move, um, and allow the transaction to go through. That's the best way I can describe it. The higher the percentage, the more that potentially you could lose in the transaction. So it's called slippage. It's a term that you definitely want to learn. I go with 0.25. Sometimes when something is moving quite a bit, like how a KTA is pumping, and there's a lot of volatility, a lot of movement in the price, you might have to bump it up to like 0.5, or that's about as high as I've had to go before, but sometimes you might have to bump it up to 0.5. And then it just gives you some details, that, some, and I won't go through all of them. You're all smart out there. You can figure it out. And then just hit increase deposit. And as soon as you hit increase deposit, your wallet will pop up and say, do you authorize this? Put in your password, maybe. Bada bing, bada boom. You added liquidity. It's that quick. It's super easy. Again, why VFAT is such a powerful tool. Rebalance. If this thing goes down just a little bit more, we're just like right on the cusp, like $10. If it goes down, I'll do it. But rebalance. So if this goes out of range, what rebalance means is that I'm rebalancing my position. So I would be picking a new range. So, down here, you can see this is my current position where I'm about to go out of range, and this would be my new position. So down here, I can adjust. So I can, bump it down, and you can see the numbers down here, and I'll show you on Deck Screener, how you can use this, but you can adjust, and you can see as I adjust, watch the APR over here. So the wider the range, the lower the APR gets, because you're setting your liquidity to earn in a wider range. The narrower the range, the higher the APR is going to be. So if I narrow this up, you can see, that APR keeps bumping up. I mean, I can be a total degen and make it narrow as fuck and have 5,200% APR, but I promise I'm not going to be in range that long. Just especially with this price volatility, the way that it's going. And if you're at a range, it doesn't matter what the APR is. You're not earning shit. So I err on the side, like the smallest range I usually do is about 12, 10 to 12% is the narrowest I like to go. Again, I just like nice wide ranges. My KTA positions, you can see up here, are 40%. I have huge range because of all the volatility. I would rather earn less APR and stay in range consistently. I've found that I earn a lot better that way than making super. And you can have multiple positions, have the majority of your liquidity in a super wide range, so it's earning, like mine is, and then you can do a much smaller position and be a degen and try to hit that super narrow range and make that 5,000% and see how long you can stay in range. Nothing wrong with that. I mean, you can, I do it all the time, multiple positions. So, anyway, there's that. All right, so withdraw. Say I just wanted to get out of this position. I can select the pool, select the position. I can hit withdraw. And the cool thing about VFAT is I can withdraw it in whatever I want. So, usually at the top, it will have the two assets of the pool. So wrapped ETH and KTA. So I can exit in those two assets and it will give me an equal amount of those two assets. I can exit in just KTA, just wrapped ETH, or a laundry list of other assets. If I want to do a stable coin, if I want to do USDC, just type it in the search. There it is. Say I want to, lock in that value because I think that, things are going to dump. This is what I'm going to be doing towards the end of the bull run, or as I start pulling money, as things start really pumping, as I start, laddering out. I'm going to be laddering out into stables because I want to make sure that my value is locked in before we go into the bear market and dump. I want to remove myself, from that. So again, really good to be able to do that. Take out your profits in stables. Again, slippage. I like to see 0.25, but that's about all there is on withdraw. Compound, same thing. I like to make sure I go down to 0.25. Um, and you can adjust that in the settings so it just defaults to 0.25. I just haven't done it. But compound, what that means is in this case, this pool that I'm in, I have $121 and say that I want to that back into my position. So I just want to add that back it in so I have a larger amount of principal and so I'm earning more fees. That's all it is. Simple as that. And then harvest. Harvest is basically the same as with withdrawal, but you're only taking out your earned fees. You're not taking out your principal. So say that I want to just harvest all the fees, the $154 that I have in these four positions, because I want to open another position in something else. Then I can just go through and I can harvest all of those in a stable coin or, say that I want to do it in a Coinbase Wrap Bitcoin because I want to enter a position for Coinbase Wrap Bitcoin, or I want to stack a hodl bag of Bitcoin. I can just select that, go down the list, and just harvest all of those. The next, day or two or week or month, however often you want to harvest. If you're just, trying to build a position of Bitcoin, you could just go down each day and just harvest and put it all into Bitcoin or whatever asset you want. And whenever you have enough liquidity, open another position. So these are just all functionalities that most protocols don't have. Uniswap doesn't have it. Aerodrome doesn't have it. It's just that's what's great about these aggregators. And I can go on and on. Oh, nice. We're out of range. All right. Should I rebalance? All right, let's go through and see if it goes back into range. Let's go see if there's any questions. Yeah, me and you both, Ellie. If we can learn, anybody can learn DeFi. I'm in a wrapped ETH virtuals pool on VFAT. Virtuals has been earning really well. I was in one for a while and got out of it, but it's definitely been earning for people. Ellie, I've made thousands already just following Vet in this channel. Congratulations, Ellie. I love hearing. That's actually comments like that is what makes me motivates me to do this every day. Because again, I'm not making any money. I don't have sponsors. We're part of Discover Crypto. We're not getting paid to do this. I I don't have VFAT's not paying me to do this episode. You know I I don't have ads. I don't take super chats. Nothing. Me and Jeff do this 100% for free, and it's because of comments like that. We are helping people make money. I love hearing it. Congratulations, Ellie. What does Stan say? Ellie, in your opinion, is it best to open mini flight school at a minimum or add to an already existing flight school over time? I'll answer that, Stan. It really doesn't matter as long as it's 2,500 arrow or more. You're going to get the flight school bonus. If it's less than that, it really doesn't matter. I wouldn't add. It's better to have multiple, either all at once, 2,500 or more, or if you only have like 2,500 to lock and you want to lock to get the flight school bonus, it's better to save up until you have 2,500 more to lock and get another flight school bonus than to just be, locking up, random amounts. Um, I personally would only lock to get the flight school bonus. And I'll explain very briefly. I locked 5,100 arrow um, and got a 2,600 arrow flight school bonus for free. And I have a whole video on that. It was the last episode that I did for the DeFi Academy. Um, but I got 2,600. Actually, here, I'll just show you instead of fucking rambling and running my suck about it. Um, so you can see here, this 6,700 and tomorrow is payday for all of us that have locks. But I started out with 5,100 and I now have 6,731. And then this one down here, this 3,381, all of that is free arrow. It started out as 2,600 and I've earned 766 arrow of compounding, weekly compounding yield. And it's going to keep doing that just every week automatically. But if it's in this VE Arrow Maxi Relay, it stays max locked for 4 years. The countdown isn't counting down. Important to know. That's why my initial investment, this is house money. I'm letting it ride and just build long term Arrow. This one here, I am doing manually because I want this countdown. You can see I can hover over it. May 23rd of 2029, 4 years from when I took it out of the VE Aero Maxi Relay, this will unlock and I can cash it out. So but every week I'm going to have to go in and manually vote. I just put a reminder on my calendar and it alerts me. You have to vote or you don't get your weekly payout. So keep that in mind. But to answer your question, I would only do a lock if you have 2,500 arrow or more, just because of how powerful the flight school bonus is. But, do whatever. That's just my personal opinion. And it doesn't matter if you do a 5,000, 5,000 arrow in one lock or 2,500, you're going to get a comparable flight school bonus. So it's not like if you do 2,500, that you get a certain amount, and if you do 5,000, you get that same amount. It's computed off of the amount of arrow you max lock. So there's that. Yeah, flight school bonus is great. Everybody in the community that's done it is loving it. I couldn't sleep with thousands on the line in leverage trading. Yeah, I couldn't either. I'd be checking my phone all night. Yep. Update your screen. Vet, I am a Coinbase One member. Will the flight school automatically incentivize this membership? So there are bonuses. Um, you have to go on to Coinbase to get the 1.3x multiplier for the flight school bonus. There is some things that you have to do to validate your wallet on Coinbase. You can probably ask Grok or Google how to do that, and give you some good instructions. Or you can deposit it into your lock into the VE Aero Maxi Relay, right here. As soon as you lock it, deposit it there. Once you get the flight school bonus, then you can pull it out, and you'll retain that flight school bonus just like I have. Um, I think I know the dude with the black hat. Talking about me? You might. I don't know. We can't see your screen. No, it's. I'm showing. I'm sharing. Vet, you're stuck on DeFi Llama. I don't like. I don't necessarily like or hate Michael Saylor. Um, I'm actually not a fan of Michael Saylor. He's way too bullish on Bitcoin. Um, I just I love Bitcoin, but I don't own any. I want to make more money with alts, and I'll buy Bitcoin, as I'm DCAing out and into stables. And when the market's dumped, we go in the bear market. I'll use those stables with that value locked in, to buy Bitcoin when. And my guess is it will be in the 90K range. When through the bear market is where it's going to come back down to. Um, but I'll be buying it then. There's faster horses. Can you guys still not see my screen? Oh, Crypto Crank, what up, man? Yeah, man, get with me. I sent you some messages. I want to talk to you about collaborating a little bit. Um, yeah, let me know in the chat if you guys can see my screen now. Okay, it's good now. Awesome. All right, so let's go ahead and because I've been going longer than I was expecting. Yeah, we're definitely out of range. We're definitely out of range. Okay, so we're gonna rebalance. So let's go ahead and take these fees. So I'm going to show you a couple of different things because if I just rebalance, it's going to take my earnings and throw it in my wallet, and then I'm going to have to add that to my position. So let's do this. What's the best way to do this with the minimal amount of transactions? Let's exit the position, and I'm just going to open a new position. All right. So we're going to withdraw. I'm going to withdraw into KTA, and I will do a 0.25 slippage. It's calculating. We're going to exit to KTA. All right, thinking about it. All right, so you can't see it, but it's going to cost me 2 cents to do this transaction. I don't know if I can afford it, but we're gonna go ahead and click on it. Let me put in my password. All right. Oh shit! This transaction failed. Maybe I have to harvest first. All right, so let's harvest. Actually, let's do this. All right, we're gonna do it this way. We're gonna rebalance. Let's see what we can do as far as. All right, we're gonna do a new position, but we're only gonna do 32% width on our range, and that's gonna give me 1,673% APR. So let's go ahead and do that, and let's adjust the slippage to 0.25. Hit rebalance. And sometimes you're going to get errors on when you're doing DeFi on these platforms. Sometimes you're going to get errors, and you just got to kind of mess with stuff. Sometimes it helps to disconnect your wallet and reconnect. Just refresh things. There we go. Transaction successful. All right, so we'll give it a second to refresh. Come on, you can do it. I can see your messages, Ducey. Yeah, this crypto crank. This is live. All right, hold on. It's just refreshing. It takes a minute to read your wallet and all that jazz. All right, so you can see here's the position that I just rebalanced 32%. So it's basically 16, 16% to the upside, 16% to the downside. You can see it's already moved a little bit. Whatever is what it is. Um, you can see it cashed out, the rewards. So if I look in my wallet, I bet I have, yep, I got $700 of KTA sitting in my wallet and $165 of wrapped ETH. Damn it. All right. So anyway, but you can see because I narrowed my range out, now my daily rewards, I'm earning $156 a day because I'm making $131 off of this position because I instead of a 40% range, I narrowed it to 32. So instead of making like 800% APR, I'm making 1,637. But we'll see if the volatility knocks me out of range. That's only if I stay. Oh shit! See, I've already earned $2.22 just in the minute or two. So you can see how powerful this is. I don't know. I can. I think I'm seeing all your messages, Ducey. Bet still doesn't see my messages. This is live. Can people see my messages? Only half my messages are going through. Alexandria G, she just waved at you. So so yeah, that's pretty much it. I kind of want to see. You know what? Let's this one down here. Let's do this one too, because this one's out of range as well. But I'm gonna add to this one and keep the range wide. Oh, never mind. That one went back into range. Eh. Do I want to? Yeah, I'm a degen. All right. So we're going to rebalance that one, but we're going to keep it that one a 40% range because I want to make sure that we stay in range. But I am going to add 0.25. You know what? I'm going to wait. I showed you guys how to do it. Um, hey, what up, Falco? Yeah, no, KTA has been printing. I can't go on and on about it enough, but hopefully with Plume going live this week, um, the main net, we only got a couple days left, but I mean it's official. The Plume team actually said that they're going live this week. So hopefully with Plume going live, the amount of TVL and liquidity and all that's going to be rushing into the markets. Hopefully that gets Plume on the move because my Plume positions are actually out of range. Well, my full range isn't, but my major position is out of range. So it's not earning right now, and it has been for a couple days now. Let's take a look and see. Yeah, Plume is sitting at about 14 cents. It needs to go up another cent before it's at the bottom of my range at 15 cents. But I still see big things for Plume. You know, fundamentally, nothing has changed about Plume. Their CTO died, so that's kind of why it took a dip. It was one of the three initial founders, and he died last week or week before. They were actually going to go live last week, but they decided to postpone it to this week so they could mourn the loss of their friend. Totally get it. Um, but I'm actually surprised that they're moving forward so quickly. But anyway, is what it is. So yeah, I mean, it looks like Plume is actually moving 2.42% in the past hour and 6 in the past 24 hours. I'm kind of wondering, Kita, you can see it's up 5.5% on the hour and 20% on the day. So that's what knocked me out of range was Kita pumping and ETH not pumping as much. So let's see what's going on with X. Let's put in Plume. And we'll do latest. Let's see if there's any mention. Well, this guy is definitely pumping Plume. Yep. So, yeah, Plume Network is thrilled to announce Plume staking with the launch of Plume Genesis. I'll be honest, there better be some juicy APR on Plume staking if it's going to get my liquidity because I earn way too much in liquidity pools. So, yeah, I mean, even a full range position is, you can see a full range position, I'm earning 60% APR. So, unless staking is going to earn me 60% APR, sorry, not interested. Um, yeah, not seeing anything about mainnet going live yet. You can see the TVL. So this is the TVL that's been coming on chain for Plume. So they've been onboarding TVL obviously or liquidity. They have a really cool platform called Arc that allows people to tokenize real world assets, and they're partnered with Ondo. But it allows people to tokenize real world assets with just a couple of clicks in a couple of minutes, as opposed to needing developers and months and those all of that jazz. They allow you to do it a lot quicker. So pretty much anything that real estate, stocks, bonds, treasuries, all that stuff that I'm always rattling off, will be able to be tokenized. Wasn't it like 3% plume staking? If it's 3%, I won't even cover that. That's not even worth my time. Because you could get 5% just holding stable coins on freaking on freaking Coinbase or something. Ducey says F YouTube, and that goes through. I don't know, man. I'm seeing. I swear I'm seeing all of your chats. But anyway, so I want to thank everybody out there. It looks like we have about half and half people watching on X and people watching on YouTube. If you're watching on X, please, but by all means, follow us on YouTube. Join the chat. Would love to get your guys' input. Ask questions. Make sure that in the description we have a link to our Discord. Make sure you join the Discord. It's a great community. We have a lot of fun in there. It can get kind of R rated, so enter with caution. But yeah, with that, I appreciate you all. And if there isn't any, I don't sell anything. I don't sell merch. I don't. Nothing that we do here is monetized. This is 100% free. We don't do super chats. We don't do memberships. We don't have paywalls. We're all about educating our community about DeFi and airdrops and crypto. We just know how difficult it can be to stay up to speed on this stuff, and want you to learn from my mistakes, because I'm always learning. I am by far not an expert at DeFi. I am very knowledgeable, and I'm making a lot of money. I think it's mostly just because DeFi is so easy, but do with that as you will. But we will have a mastermind group. We're working with Discover Crypto, and we're going to have a mastermind group where we're going to have some very advanced, DeFi lessons and training, and groups that where you can join video chats and talk about advanced strategies like flywheels and things like that. We're building that out right now. But with that, oh yeah, yeah. Here's the link to the free speech Discord. Yes, it's very free speech. Lots to learn in there. So anyway, with that, like again, I've gone way farther, longer than I was expecting. I was gonna go like 30 minutes. This is an hour and a half. But with that, till next time, Veteran Crypto out.